Hello everyone, Larcenies is here. Welcome back to another character breakdown. What we're gonna break down today, huh? Well, today I decided to take a step back and break down someone a little bit more familiar. And actually, I broke him down already a long time ago. He was one of my first breakdown for Paragon. That was Iggy and Scorch. Now I know what you guys are wondering. Why break him down again? Well, he got rebalanced. And on top of that, with this new card meta, everyone changed. Everyone that broke down has now been altered. Some have been more incredibly strong. Some have been nerfed a little bit to be a little bit more difficult to use. But today we're going to break down Iggy and Scorch. He was my first breakdown when I started Paragon. I decided to do it again with the new Dawn update. Now I'm going to go into more detail with the cards I picked as well. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown as it took a little bit more time. So just in case you forgot what Iggy and Scorch can do, his base attack is at 3. His ability damage is at 7. Durability at 3 and mobility at 5. Believe it or not, his mobility should go down lower because actually they took down a move that I actually enjoyed. So this should be like more of a 3, honestly. But notice one thing, like I said before. When I first updated him, he can equip Corruption and Fury cards, I believe. Now he's blank. Let's see what kind of stuff you can put on him. First, let's go through the whole bunch of skins that this guy has. I'm talking about, since he was like one of the, like pretty much the first character they added as DLC. This is all the skins that they added for Iggy. This is his challenger skin. This is a rival skin. This is actually pretty new. It's like look like skin got peeled, honestly. This is the master skin right here. If you reach level 10 with Iggy, it looks really badass. And then it keeps going down and down. We have the charcoal demon. This is the one I actually purchased with coins that the game gave me. Really good looking skin right here. We have the Christmas Iggy with Scorch as a reindeer. Pretty hilarious if you want just like a nice little laugh. We have Fireball Iggy. Really nice color on Scorch. Not really big fan of what they did with Iggy, but it looks cool. And then Mechanical Iggy. Well, him and Scorch got a little bit of a technical update. Looks really cool. I said all the skins really badass, but let's see his abilities. See how much they change. Now, first off, he has Spitfire now. Before he used to throw a Molotov, but now Scorch spits a fire. Now, this one is going to be a very important move, and I'll explain why. Molotov, now its ability that you throw on the floor, does a nice little ring of damage, burns for 8 seconds, and actually burns some ability armor from people, which is really good. You have a classic Iggy without his flame torrents. Now, when you equip it, once you put this on 1 point, you can use 4 of them. But just keep in mind, it burns down your mana. These they last only for 30 seconds, and they actually lock onto enemies. And when you hit people with your basic attack, the torrents actually aim at that person. So aiming Scorch is going to be very, very important. Burning sensations is an actual passive. When you hit people with Spitfire and your torrents, they actually burn for extra damage. Now this is going to be a very important move as you hit people with your basic attack and they hit with the torrents. And Blaze, you can put your torrents into overdrive for 6 seconds, doing 25 more damage, and has a little bit more range and slows them down. This is very, very good. That's it. Now, if you notice, they took out one move that I actually enjoyed, and that was his oil slick, that he runs backwards and leaves a trail of oil. They took that out, so he has no mobility now. But the main question, what kind of cards do you put on Iggy and Scorch? Now, that's the tough one. Now, like I said, these 5 affiliations now based on your playstyle more than what I recommend. Now, what I use, if you want to just get familiar with the character itself before you just experiment with cards, I use Knowledge and Chaos. These are the 2 cards I affiliate with. This is the build I use. Why Knowledge? Knowledge has a lot of intelligent cards. You're gonna be, when you're using Iggy, you'll be putting a lot of points in your intellect. So that's why I put Knowledge. And Chaos is for just a more of an aggressive Iggy approach. Now I do see people using Growth as a more defensive Iggy, so that way they can build his strength slowly, but yet he has some damage. So he can take a hit, but yet he grows some strength. But let me just show you the cards I picked for myself. Now, like I said, I picked Knowledge and Chaos. This is the group you want to affiliate yourself with. That's your choice if you decide to. The first card you want to pick is Rejuvenator. So that way you can have a health regen and a mana regen for a few seconds. Keep in mind, this is a consumable that costs 200 coin. So you got to use this off whenever you choose. Now, this card right here next to it is Advance of Evolution. It's another card you want to pick. This card, if you put 1 intellect, you can purchase this card. And as you level up, this is good for early game. As you level up, you get 5% extra mana, health, as you level up. So it's really good for a few seconds. So, like I said, it's good for early game. Now, one card I highly recommend, like I said, your choice though, is the Mana Flow. As you level up this card, as you purchase cards with your intellect, this card gains strength. So as you put more power into your intellect, this card actually becomes more stronger. I believe with max intellect, which is 25, I believe this card can get up to 70 damage, which is really, really good. Like I said, it's your choice if you want to pick this card, but this card is really cheap, and as I said, it stacks over time as you power your intellect. Now, another card I pick is Power Up. Now, Power Up is a very, Power Tap is a very good up. Now, what it does is power you up by 15 permanently. So the only problem is you have to save up for 4,000 coins. That's 4 upgrades. So I recommend this like more late game versus early game. That's your choice though. This guy right here, which I can't even pronounce, honestly I'm not gonna try, but this gentleman right here is another card I highly recommend for Iggy. As you hit enemies with your ability and your moves, you get more. You get 1% more damage. This card actually scales with your mana, and as you hit people with your mana, it'll scale higher, and you just do way more damage. This card is extremely powerful for Iggy. So that way, when you hit people with your torrents, when you hit people with your Molotov, this card keeps giving you more power as you just continue going on a rampage. This card is very strong. Another card I recommend is Atomic Soldier. This card I don't pick for myself, but this gives you a nice little boost and does a little extra ability damage for your cards. I said this is your choice. You can also put Sleeper Agent, so that when you can put people, you can silence enemies, and then the people who are silenced take 15% more damage. This one right here is the Corrosive Walker, is one I actually equipped. So that way it has a lot of damage, gives you health, and on top of that it reduces armor for 6 seconds. That's as long as your blaze lasts. So if you want, you can reduce that armor and hit them with blaze, and then melt their health as they assume that their armor is going to protect them. It's your choice though. You can also equip Black Ice. If you want, Black Ice does 250 ability damage and slowdowns enemy. But like I said, this is more preference versus anything else. It's on your choice. If you pick Black Ice, you're going more towards Vitality versus Intellect. Mine's are going more Intellect versus Vitality. So that's it. There's a lot of cards you can pick for Iggy and Scorch. I'm just showing you a few that you can pick for this in case you want to get used to the character before you experiment with cards. Now, what kind of runes do you put in Iggy and Scorch? Now, that's a tough one. Now, since you're going to be putting a lot of points into your intellect, I recommend, tier 1 auto mana. Now, the tier 2 is your choice. I recommend the second tier, the second choice right here, as when you kill minions, you get more mana. It raises your mana cap. This helps with that gentleman that I told you about with the eyeglass. This helps extend his power even more. For your third ability, I highly recommend Spellburn. As the abilities hit your opponents, you can burn more as you burn the opponents. Spellburn is like just it's just super recommended. Now, if you want, you can keep going to the Intellect Chi, or you can go to Vitality, because you're going to be putting Vitality on the Iggy too if you want. I recommend Healing Tower or Quick Escape. Those are the two I recommend, because you could either leave the base quickly, or you just get healed from the tower as you stand there. I recommend the Healing Tower, so that way you can just get a little bit more health. Now, as you keep going down the Intellect Chi, this is just only if you choose to, but I highly recommend it. You want to go for Ruthless Spell, so that way you can do more damage. As I said, this is for more of a damage dealer. If you want to build more of a tanky build, I definitely recommend the one at the bottom, the shield. But for damage dealer, you want to go for ruthless spell, so that way you can just do extra damage on top of extra damage. Now if you go full intellect, I definitely recommend overpowering spell, so that way you can get more damage, costing your ability to cost more mana, but the damage output for them will be ridiculous. But like I said, this is your choice. I'm just showing you how to build him more or less. Like I said, for me, I really focus on intellect, because you're going to be putting a lot of cards into that. Keep in mind that you do have power tap, so at a few cards you might want to save up for that, but it's up to your choice and how the game goes. And that's more or less the deck I built. But let's see how it does in action. Now, if you notice, they upgraded his torrents to look a little bit more futuristic. It look kind of cool now. Now this is your multi ability, a nice little ring of circles that burns ability armor on enemies. Keep in mind, even if you have 1 point into your torrents, you can use 4 of them. It just burns down your mana. Now keep in mind, you can't see burning sensation due to the fact that it's a passive, and unfortunately Blaze is not that noticeable. But hopefully you notice that with this whole little bit of montage of Iggy burning everything down. Iggy's rebalance is very appreciative. Not needed, but very appreciative. Like I said, with the old Iggy, he was good. Like I said, it was just harder to kill certain heroes due to the fact they were more mobile than him. So it was a lot harder for him to get certain kills because he had to chase more, and then catch and get caught off guard. But now with the totems being a little bit more homing, it does a lot more damage. As long as you don't spit fire to something else, you're most likely gonna burn someone's health away. If you're strong enough and you build the right cards. Like I said, the only problem is that now, like I said, the old Iggy had ways to escape. You had Oil Slick to move backwards and get a little movement speed. You have Flame Belch to push people away just in case they got a little too cocky and too close. Now, all you have is your Torrents and your Molotov. That's not enough to really push a hero away if they're based on the tank. You know, like I said, if they're strong enough, they're just gonna overwhelm you as someone else gets killed or hits you up or just catch you off guard. It really depends on the hero that you're fighting and how they use them. But like I said, depending on the cards you put is the way Iggy plays. Like I said, I play more aggressively, but if you put growth or you put something like, or you put a death build, and you can have like a blink, you can have ways to escape fights. So like I said, if you don't put the cards I recommend, that's understandable. You can always go the growth way, so that way he can have a little bit more defense and health regeneration. You can put affiliation with death, so you can go invisible or have a teleblink, so that way you can just get out the way, just in case you don't feel too comfortable of where you stand. But like I said, Iggy is very strong now. He can melt people's health away if you know how to use him well, and he's very dangerous if people don't pay attention to him. Like I said, with more than one torrent, Blaze will just absolutely destroy anyone's health, even if they have armor, because like I said, that burn damage is going to tick over time, especially if you have friends around. But like I said, Iggy's strength is his weakness. Not no torrents. He's not as good as I would like him to be, but he's still a good character. Just be mindful of your mana. But that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed your see. I know this has been a little long one, but it had to be needed with the new cards. But like I said, hope you guys enjoyed your see. If you did, hit the like button. Share with your friends if you think they'll enjoy this breakdown or this Iggy and Scorch or the game in general. Keep mine free to play. And until then, guys, I'll see you next time.